Yes.
What else was there?
In Russian, the Russians got the funniest one. Die another day in Russian is die, but not today.
Like a comma. Hello and welcome to the For Your Ears Only podcast. Today we are on episode 0019.
90.
Yes, 0019, and we are going all the way back to 1999, the year before the Millennium, for The World Is Not Enough, directed by Michael Apted.
Yes.
Never heard of him before, never heard of him after this.
No.
Thanks, Michael. That's all he's done. So today we are looking at Pierce Brosnan's penultimate.
Oh, good word.
That's a good word. Penultimate feature as James Bond, the edge of the Millennium. Very, very edge of the Millennium references throughout this movie.
There is.
The Millennium Dome and everything else to do with 1999, apart from Prince's song.
No, we don't.
And yes, no. So we're going to go through this movie. We actually haven't discussed this prior to this episode, and we usually, in the journey over here, have a chat about it, and we've not done so. We spoke about other things like Your Strange Alarm Routine, which we're not going to go into because it takes too long. But I have no idea what your thoughts are on this. You have no idea what my thoughts are, which is odd. So before we go into the 2 minutes to tell all the folks about this, I'm assuming you've seen this when you were younger. I
did. This came out the year my brother was born, so he watched it a lot.
Did you understand this movie when you were younger?
Yeah, it's not that hard to understand.
You understood everything, the geopolitical landscape of this movie. You were, what, 4?
3.
You were 3 years old. So you watched it when you were a bit older.
Yes, and yeah. Obviously the whole oil thing goes over my head, but the fact that there's a bad guy kidnaps a woman. Wait
a minute, no. There's no way you understood this.
How?
Oh, the bad guy kidnapped a woman, yes. That bit's nice and simple. The geopolitical landscape of the oil pipeline.
It's not that dense a script, I would say.
There's absolutely no way you understood this when you were like at most 5 years old.
No, I just seen James Bond fights people.
Did you know what was happening at the end with the submarine? Did you understand that?
I knew there was a submarine.
Yeah, that was okay, right. So that's. Did you have?
I understood the film as in James Bond has to save the day. I didn't need to know that there's pipelines from Russia getting blown up to make her pipeline more valuable.
Yeah, this is what I was. I didn't care how child. I just wanted the helicopter scenes and the car scenes and things.
Yeah,
I didn't get anything else. Did you have a greater appreciation from it watching it when you were older?
I got a greater appreciation watching it in preparation for this. Yes. For I must have only watched this about 4 times. Must be a 4th or 5th time I ever watched this.
I liked more of it. I watched this a lot, and I can't believe I just didn't really understand it. Even watching it over and over again, just my 8-year-old brain just didn't comprehend. Skipped through most of it.
Did you?
Probably.
I've never skipped a James Bond.
I didn't like the ski scenes.
I think that people were going to dislike you.
I just didn't. I thought the ski scenes were boring. But we'll go into in depth with that.
Okay.
So you've given your impression.
Yeah.
We're going to go through the 2 minutes now. As recurring viewers, that's not a thing. Returning viewers, returning audience know that we do have a 2 minute segment where Jack has to give the synopsis of the movie in question within 120 seconds.
Okay.
Yes. 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 Are you ready for this?
No, because there's quite a lot happens and it's quite long.
You have to explain the geopolitical landscape in full.
Right, okay. So the Russians have oil.
The Russians have oil.
That's all you need to know.
That's the plot. Okay.
It's actually got nothing to do with that, really.
You're ruining it for the audience. Will you just let me know when you're ready?
I'll come back to me next week. Okay. Let's get it in my head.
Well, this is Jack Oliver's attempt at the plot of The World's Not Enough inside 2 minutes. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so the film opens with James Bond retrieving money from a bank in Spain. A fight breaks out. Everyone gets killed except him. He then takes the money to MI6 to give it to the guy who it belongs to. I can't remember his name, something King. He gives him the money, but the money is a bomb somehow. It explodes, and there's an assassin on the Thames that James Bond chases down the Thames in a boat. She kills herself, and then the main titles go. So the main film opens with James Bond being tasked by M to protect this guy's daughter. Her name's Electra King, and we find out that the money that he had is the same amount as a ransom money that she had in her previous kidnapping. So basically the kidnapper's back to get her, and Bond's there to protect her. We then find out that the head of security is working for this bad guy whose name is Renard. James Bond takes his place, and Renard tries to steal some plutonium. James Bond tries to stop him, but he doesn't. They get away with the plutonium. Then we find out that maybe Electra isn't actually so innocent, and she uses a bomb in her own pipeline that she's building in Azerbaijan to basically throw Bond off the centre and kill him. Then she asks her M herself to come and protect her. Then she reveals herself to be the bad guy by kidnapping M. James Bond then has to find out where M and Electra are. He then finds out that the plutonium was stolen so that that Renard can launch a nuclear weapon to destroy other pipelines, which would make her pipeline more successful. So James Bond then goes and frees M, kills Electra in Istanbul, stops a submarine, and at the very last second he has sex.
Time. I was like, in the last 10 seconds, you have the plot, and your last sentence always, so he kills everybody and gets away. You took that was very relaxed. You took that in a reasonable pace to go through. Left out many characters.
Left out?
I thought that
straight down the middle.
That was well explained. Wasn't even rushed. You were very calm with that.
Yeah, well, in my head I wasn't calm. I felt like I should have talked about Robbie Coltrane.
You missed him out, and Dr. Christmas Jones.
And Jones.
That was really it.
But are they important? Kind of.
Yeah. I think that was...
Anyway, the film is... It has sex at the end. I'm glad we got that in.
That's the summary there. No, that was bang on 2 minutes.
Was it?
That was quite good.
That was a hard film, because if you had to say every single thing that happened, you could be here for 10 minutes.
Yeah, for some reason, like, as I said, I didn't understand it when I was younger, and then I watched it twice again in preparation for this episode.
Okay.
And the first time I watched it was just to, I don't know, like nostalgia. Uh-huh. And I was kind of like, I don't really know where this movie's going. There's sequences in it which I'm like, oh, that's really good. Mm-hmm. The story is all right. The story's fine. And then when I watched it, I don't know, when I watched it again, I just felt like, not fast forwarding to bits, but I was like waiting for the next thing to happen.
Okay.
I don't know.
Were you just seen it too often that you're bored?
No, I thought the chase sequence at the start was the highlight of the movie.
Okay, we could go into that and say
that was the best bit of the whole movie. I don't quite understand why she was on the Thames though.
The assassin on the Thames didn't need to be there.
No, she could have been in a cafe somewhere and no one's the wiser. Or
she didn't even need to be there in the first place. Just they presume that the bomb worked because it exploded.
Because the building is blown up. Yeah,
yeah,
and that's it.
She doesn't need to be there, but she does for the plot.
For the plot, yes, that's it. And then he's damaged. Why did he have to have a damaged shoulder? To like, there was bits that I thought I could pick apart. I was like,
why did he have a damaged shoulder? Because he fell on top of the dome.
Yeah, but he didn't need that. But they did it to then show that there was a weird link between things that Electra knew and Renard knew.
Yeah.
And there was other points as well I thought of why, if Renard and all his henchmen are in the bunker getting the missile. Why does Bond have to come in an opposite way? Why can't he just go with all of them? Or it could be Davidoff. He was the original one. Why couldn't he just go with another? But then he explained that he needs to bring the plane.
Yes.
And I thought, well, why can't anyone else get a plane? Why do you need someone to...
Why does it need to be Davidoff?
Yeah.
It's a small knit group of evil criminals.
I did try to pick holes in it, and it does make sense, but I don't know. It was just...
Up. The film stacks up as a very, very good James Bond film. There you go, spoiler. But the opening titles is undeniably the best opening title scene pre-sequence of all the films.
There's a lot to it. It's very long. It's a movie in itself. I'd only realised the other day, it was quite funny, the first time watching this, the guy who's the banker, who's putting on that really terrible Swiss accent.
Yeah.
I've never seen him before. And Rachel were watching Billy Elliot, and I went, there he is! He's the guy that judges in the really posh school. And I thought, there's that guy, the guy with the knife in his neck. He just goes,
I definitely think that boat chase is the best opening titles scene ever.
Is it the best boat? Is it the best boat chase? Is it better than Live and Let Die?
It is.
Yes,
a million times better than that.
It's good,
and you're right by saying it is the best action scene, and it comes right at the start of the film.
Yeah,
and it feels like everything. I get what you mean. It doesn't quite live up to that. But
I don't care about the rest of the movie. After that, I don't care what happens. It's got everything. It's got Bond moments. It's got good music. I think with the last movie having David Arnold, this is full because there's wee embellishments in the music, especially the boat sequence that he puts in strange like sonar sounds. I'm like, that's definitely late 90s, early 2000s coming through. And again, there was loads of like gadgets to the boat, and and then the best part, obviously, the childish part where he goes underwater and then fixes his tie. Fixes his tie? For some reason, when that happened, I thought of Declan. Hi, Declan. When he fixed his tie when he was young, I thought of that. So but even in the bank sequence, I did probably look at the kind of Bond moments because they're all in this main bit, is when he jumps out the balcony. Yeah, and he's attached to the world's strongest curtain. And manages to get out. Okay, that's great.
This was one of the only times I had time to watch like behind the scenes stuff, and they were talking about that the day that they filmed that actually in Bilbao because they wanted to get that big fancy museum in the background, which you don't actually see in it. But they were talking about how mobbed the streets were and how there's hundreds of thousands of people on the street watching James Bond jump out the window in real time.
Sounds like it could be really easy for filmmaking. Get out of here! How did James Bond get this massive suitcase of £5 million back to the UK? Surely didn't take that through like customs.
No, but do you not have like a diplomatic bag if you're part of MI6? You don't need to get your stuff searched.
But
that's the thing.
I mean, the money was soaked in fertilisers. Would it not be picked up? This was P911. I don't know what checks were back then. I was too young as well. If any, it was just on you.
I'm sure it's like diplomats and stuff don't get their stuff checked. Is that not a plot device in other films?
Is it? I'm looking at you now, Ben.
He didn't check that.
He just knows. So I just the opening sequence was just great.
Yes,
it all kind of worked in well. I think going through the movie kind of chronologically and then at the opening title sequence, and the song was
for me the song's okay. I guess it's great to have some Scottish representation in Shirley Manson.
This movie is full of Scottish representation. Yeah, because you've got Garage.
It opens in to Scotland.
Yes. You've got Robert King, who apparently was of Scottish heritage or something mentioned at one point.
Right.
You've then got the MI6 backup headquarters in Scotland. You've got Robbie Coltrane returning. Yeah. You've got Robbie Carlyle returning.
All the Robbies.
Every actor in Scotland's Robbie. Yes. And that's as many Scottish things as I can remember. That's everything. Well, there's bagpipes as well, actually, because of course, if you're in a Scottish castle somewhere, there's got to be bagpipes which double as a machine gun and flamethrower. Yes.
Pay the piper.
Yes, pay the piper.
Yeah,
So-
you're right. There is a lot of Scottish in this.
Jack, what was that?
I don't
You
know.
breaking stuff?
It was no. It's fine. I've dropped.
People listening to this will just shat themselves at that noise.
So yeah, the opening when that opens, and then that's one of the only other films where you get to see like all the double O's getting briefed at once.
Oh yeah.
The only other time I remember is in Thunderball,
I used to know in a line.
in that big giant room.
Well, it was all just white men.
Well, there was a white woman in Thunderball.
Was there? I thought it was just all men. I know there's a
woman.
diverse lineup in The World's Not Enough.
Mm.
You know, almost in the Millennium.
Yep. But did you notice in the sort of famous Easter egg, the portrait at the back is of Bernard Lee, like the original M.
Is
It's
it?
hanging in a wall behind Judi Dench.
I didn't notice that. That is quite good. Good eye.
In
Could
the-
I kept that as a question?
In the same way that, is it No Time to Die has like the portrait of M
Yeah.
of Judi Dench, and the other one whose name I forget
The other one.
from
Yes,
the 80s.
That other actor. Not the guy for the KGB.
No.
The real M. I think in terms of the influence, obviously we spoke a bit about the Scottish influence and then the influence on the new decade, the new millennium coming into it. I don't think there was really anything that
Influencing the
pushed.
script here. Not really, just from some of the sort of millennium bug
Yes.
that gets
We have to
shoehorned
get
in.
the Millennium Dome in, as it was called then.
Yeah.
That has to be in this movie in some way. How? Oh, he's just going to crash through a cafe. How's that possible?
gonna fall on
It doesn't
top of
matter how it's possible. Yeah, there was, and I suppose it was quite good to see that kind of the canals of London.
Yeah, it was good. That whole scene again.
Yeah,
Just excellent.
so much destruction, almost killing people. But yeah, I don't think of any at the time. I don't know. There was nothing really influenced it. I mean, there was the whole, was it Y2K?
Yeah, that's the
The
millennium
fear,
bug. Yeah.
the fear thing of oh my God, everybody's shut down. Nothing happened.
No, I think there was only one like throwaway line in the film about that. Really, anyway.
But the Y2K, is it mentioned?
Yeah, right at the very end where John Cleese has to turn off the body heat camera. He says, "Oh, this must have been Y2K." Something he says.
Oh, the Millennium Bug.
That is Y2K.
Is it? I thought he was just talking
Nonsense.
old man speak. I thought he was just being John Cleese.
No, Millennium Bug and Y2K are the same thing.
Is it?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I wasn't paying attention back then.
Y2K as in Y year 2.
Yeah, I get that.
Millennium.
Yeah, I get that. Jack, you were 3 years old.
And I still got
This
it.
is another thing you knew about. So yeah, I think the history thing didn't really
No, but
make
what
any
did
sort of
influence
to it.
them?
Money.
No, well,
Yeah.
always. As they had a new script writing team.
Along with this new director that no one had ever heard of.
Yeah, who'd never made anything. Who'd never made an action film before and has never made one since.
Right.
He was a documentarian.
Okay.
So he made documentaries.
I thought he actually came back and did like an extended scene. 2006.
Who did?
That Michael guy.
Of what?
Of the boat scene in The World's Not Enough.
Did he?
Because the movie was originally like 180 minutes and then they brought it down. So like, listen mate, you'll know Peter Jackson. Like, cut that down.
Cut that out, please.
People can't sit and see that long and cut it right
I
down.
knew there was extra extended scenes of like Azerbaijan, like just the scenery and stuff, because that's what he was used to doing
Yeah.
instead of doing action. Apparently, he just left all the action to the second unit director
Alright.
because he did all the action. He knew what action was.
Wonder why he was hired. What dirt did he have on like the Broccoli family? Yeah,
So
I don't know.
the new writing team, which was, I can't remember their name, but it's Neil and Purvis are their last names. Purvis. And this was the first James Bond film they wrote, and they then write every single film after that.
Sorry.
Did that crack?
No, I was laughing because you're half right. The guy's name is Neil Purvis.
Ah,
Or you
Purvis.
said somebody.
Somebody on purpose. Okay, so it's Neil Purvis and someone else.
Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, and then it's
Robert Wade.
Stephen.
Okay, so Purvis and Wade are
Hi, I'm Derek, and I'm joined today with Jack and Oliver.
So Purvis and Wade then write every James Bond film after this.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, like they write the original script and then some people come and tweak it, like Phoebe,
Oh, right.
whatever her
okay,
name
yeah.
was.
I'm going to ruin this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
So
to
this
know.
is, and a lot of people have like issues with their films. Like they divide the fandom with their writing,
I don't know.
which I sometimes I get with the next film.
Now that you mention that, for some reason, the way I seen this movie and the way it was put together, I don't know why, I thought it was kind of like a fan-made movie. Not in terms of quality, like the quality is all there, and the acting. This is Pierce Brosnan's best acting. He's
Yes.
always hot. He's an actual. He just drops and goes "Ah!" every moment he can get.
Yeah.
This by far is his best acting, and everyone in the
Undoubtedly.
movie is decent actors. Kind of apart from
Christmas.
Denise Richards, yeah, her, so, yeah. But yeah, I don't know the Soaring style. I wasn't really grabbed by anything.
By the story.
I was just along for the ride. I didn't feel engaged. I just thought, well, can we go back to the boat chase at the start?
I like the story. It's not gripping, but like I think it's nicely weaved together.
It all makes sense. Yes.
So I could follow it as a 3-year-old.
No, you couldn't.
But yeah, I could follow it, which a lot of the films you can't follow, especially the Roger films.
See, you're a 3-year-old going, actually, the pipeline goes through Kazakhstan, but because of the conflict between the natives and no, that you didn't do that.
No, I didn't do
you
that.
didn't do that.
No.
Before we go on, let's do question 1.
Okay.
I realise we've been talking about the back and forth of the history and impact of the movie. Question 1, a nice, easy question for
Okay.
everyone. Even you will get this. Even 3-year-old Jack would get this. What did M study at Oxford? Easy. Spying. International. Super spying.
It's classified information.
Yes. So what did M study at Oxford? So there was a couple of things I had with this. Issues I had. In fact, there was one major issue I had with this entire movie.
Let me.
And this goes through to
Okay.
the writers, Neil and Purvis. Renard is a very good villain.
Yeah.
I just don't think that he was utilised at all.
I would say he's not the main villain.
You say Electra's the main
Well,
villain?
I would say Electra's the main villain, and he's more like a head. He's like the Bane to Poison Ivy in the original ones.
Actually, no, I would actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
He is
in
like
The
the
Dark
Bane.
Knight Rises, the main villain isn't Bane.
Yeah, it's the
Bane
woman.
is the subservient for Talia,
The
who's
terrible
pretending
actress.
to be a victim. This is The Dark Knight Rises! They're very similar, now that I think of it. The story of that is...
Right, what's the story of Dark Knight
The
Rises?
story of The Dark Knight Rises is... James Bond is hurt at the start of this movie and carries that injury throughout the movie.
Yes.
And that's his weakness. Much
shoulder.
like Bruce Wayne is just an old man. Essentially
Okay.
has arthritis and has to put stuff on.
Okay.
He isn't making like a return or anything like that, but Talia, or her name is Miranda, I think, in the movie, is a wealthy individual who is funding clean, renewable energy.
Right.
So she's
Like
a
Electra,
rich person funding renewable energy.
who then sleeps with the hero.
She does, and also that renewable energy is stolen and, I don't know, manipulated in some way to then become the weapon.
Kind of like the
Much in the
nuke,
same way that the nuke was stolen.
and the pipeline would be
The
destroyed.
pipeline is the target, but
Yeah.
it's not really the target. And then you think that Renard is the person to he's the man, we need to find him. But
Like
he's
Bane.
actually nothing to do with it.
Bane
He's
just does all the the killing and stuff, just
he's,
like Renard.
he's doing everything that Bane is doing everything that Talia's telling him to do. Much in the same way that Renard is doing everything
The election does.
Christopher Nolan.
Can you see?
That is
a smell a lawsuit here.
Is this ever been pointed out before? Is this a first? Welcome to the exclusive.
Wow. Yeah, so basically this is like, so The Dark Knight Rises is
The Dark Knight Rises is an
spin-off?
unbelievably I'm sure we could probably, if we had more time, we'd probably go into the parallels of that story. Has it been picked up already?
8 years ago on the Reddit thread, our James Bond, there's a thread titled "The World Is Not Enough, The Dark Knight Rises are they the same movie?" And it goes through and lists all the similarities.
Edit that out. We found it first. Okay, well, there we go.
Yeah.
We're only 8 years late.
we only started this a year ago.
Think about it. So
It's like that meme. I should have been buying houses instead of being in the womb.
but I think like I think that the fact that he doesn't feel any pain, there should be
Underutilized.
yes, underutilised is the best thing, because
Yes.
there's a point.
I remember.
Probably the bit that emphasises this the most is where he's talking with M, and he's trying to explain to M that, you know, your time is almost up, much like me.
Yeah.
Essentially, I have nothing to lose. There's nothing
Yeah.
you can do to threaten me here. I am just going to, because you can't threaten me with jail time or kill me because I know I'm going to die. So, and then I thought that this has never been a villain before where the villain has nothing to lose at all. Doesn't feel any, and I don't know, just
That was underutilized. You're right. He only gets shown when he has the flaming rock in his hand.
and he's got the glass in his hand.
The glass.
Then he gets shot in the arm when he just looks at his arm. I'm like, there's more to this.
Yeah,
than others.
especially when they fight in the sub, they could have been more in that, where he's
Yeah.
putting the big golden rods in the
He does get
thing.
elbowed in the head and he goes, and I'm like, you can't feel pain.
Yeah, surely.
Why is? Yeah, I found that this was.
Yeah,
it felt
well,
like
that's what I
the
mean.
wrong movie he was in. That was. That's what I'm saying. It feels like he's in the wrong movie.
He's not the main villain. I would just have said he was the henchman. He's the chief evil doer, but not the brains.
He was like the red herring, not the brains, the bullet in the brain.
Yes. But yeah, they could have used that a bit more and made the fight maybe a bit more intense and thrilling.
Yeah, there was a lot of parts of
A
that
bit.
fight that I look back at now and I'm like, that's not possible. There's so many bits of going, I'm just going to swim outside the sub and then go up here.
Yeah, swimming from the bottom of the sub all the way up,
Yeah.
trying not to die.
Also-
or get the bends.
Also, when he goes,
just go in.
I'm just going to bring this up to the surface and does the opposite.
Yeah,
And he goes,
sinks.
miscalculations. Like, weren't you a commander in the Navy? You know every single button. If you push this button, that opens this hatch 100 metres that way. I was like, right, you know that, but you don't know up
Reverse.
from down. Oh no, what if I didn't?
That's true, I never thought of that.
Plot.
Plot holes there.
Don't get that in The Dark Knight Rises. But yeah, that was my main gripe with it, is I thought Renard was a good villain, just really underutilised in a really underwhelming way. It was just like, right, okay.
Did you know that they originally wanted Javier Bardem to do that role? He would have been like pre-fame, I guess.
How old would he have been at that point? He's probably the same age as Robbie Coltrane, now that I think about it.
Robbie Coltrane.
No, Robbie Coltrane.
Robbie
Robbie Carlyle. They're both in it.
They are both in it.
Robbie Coltrane's just got a beard and a suit. Even as a child, see the guy, Goldie?
Goldie. Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's the character, that's the actor's name.
Uh-huh.
Even as a child, I was like, what's he doing here?
It's
Who's this
funny
guy?
that his name's Goldie and his character name was Billion.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Mr. Boo. I just didn't understand why he was there at all.
By 99, Bardem had only really done TV movies, Spanish movies, or like a few appearances on like episodes of series across across the world.
So not
Yeah,
really
'cause
that
it
well
was
known.
It
like-
wasn't a recognisable name.
Old Country for Old Men would have been his breakthrough film.
Yeah.
And that was like 2007, so it was a good
Yeah.
8 years after.
I wonder if Bobby Carlyle was in prior to this. Is that the guy for the Full Monty?
He was in the Full Monty,
And that's it.
and that's it. Because you can guess in Trainspotting hadn't came out yet.
Oh no, it must have actually.
When was
Trainspotting was
Trainspotting?
95.
Trainspotting was 95 and 96.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Right.
Frightening man.
Yeah, so he goes from one scary guy to another scary guy with a Russian accent.
Yeah, he just always just plays the villain, but he's good at it. But yeah, I don't know. That was the issue I had with it. There was a couple other wee bits as well where, again, skipping through like the Parahawk scene, the whole skiing scene. I'm like, what's the point in
I
this?
thought
What's this for?
skiing is overdone in James Bond. It's in like every second film there's a ski fight.
Yeah,
But they kind of changed it up with the Parahawks and the
so
that
unnecessary.
thing,
Like they
and
were just.
dropping grenades and then they fly into each other.
So the bit with John Cleese or R. And he puts the jacket in the jar, and I'm like, is there going to be snow? Like, here's a jacket. You're going to Kazakhstan. Here's a snow jacket. Right, we get that there's snow in the mountains. Are you going there? Probably, because I've got the jacket.
We are now. The
I have
jacket
to use
says.
everything that you've given me. Yeah, I didn't get it. The Parahawk bit where And again-
I turn off at that scene, I guess,
Yes.
because it's kind of overused.
that was one of the bits I fast forward through. I don't care about that. I wasn't that fussed on it. Where he jumps off the cliff and tears the parachute, and then for some reason that makes the Parahawk's like engine fail. And
Yeah.
there's a wee bits. I'm like,
and then
what
they
does this add?
explode in that somehow.
Why were they even there?
They were going to check on the pipeline, and the best way to do that was to ski down.
No.
To the
Why were the
pipeline.
Parahawks there?
Why were the Parahawks there? Just because bad guys were needed to kill James Bond.
But they work for Elektra in a convoluted way.
Yeah, but
Are they there to sell the fact that
that
they're
she's a good guy.
but they almost killed her? They did open fire on everyone there and
Yeah,
throw
but it needs
grenades.
to be believable, didn't it?
No, I don't know. I thought it's like AI, like set James Bond in the mountains, James Bond skiing, and then henchmen on parachutes with guns appear for no reason whatsoever.
True.
Yeah,
That's an action scene that's just like shot.
I think there's a lot of bits like that. Like even the car scene in the caviar farm, I'm going to call it, in Istanbul.
No, that's a good scene.
That whole bit's stupid.
No,
It's good because the car's in, the car gets cut in.
Yeah.
That whole bit's there just to show the car getting cut in half.
yeah,
But-
exactly. It's to show off the BMW and all the gadgets.
It's so weird that the film beforehand you could drive it with your phone, and this one he presses a key and it drives forward like 8 feet, and they go, "Oh wow, look at that!" Teslas do that.
They do
But it's
that
like,
now.
oh right, oh that's amazing. What does it do with this car? Well, the car
Fires a rocket.
the car drives itself forward 8 feet.
Yeah.
He gets in the car, he reverses probably about half a mile on the world's longest pier, fires a rocket, and then
And
it gets cut in half.
helicopter.
This car is never steered. I've never seen him
No.
turn the steering wheel in the entire movie. Even driving to Istanbul, it's just a straight road. I don't think the steering wheel works. Or that was as much as they'd like to do with the BMW.
I think it's because that model hadn't came out yet, and I don't think it was finalised.
It couldn't steer. This could only go straight.
So it was like, not real.
Actually, now that I think about it, that car was going to get cut in half, so it probably didn't have all the same inner workings
Yeah.
as a normal car.
There's probably more than one.
Maybe there's a
of them.
reason as to why they just couldn't steer it. I mean, this is actually just the shell of the car. The steering wheel doesn't work.
Yeah, it's going to get sawn in half.
Yeah.
I'm not building a car.
Yeah, that scene I didn't.
I like that scene. It's good because it shows off Robbie Coltrane a bit more, which is always great. It,
Involved and kind of comical.
it lets them find out how to get to M and where they're hiding. That's what it's
Yes.
all about. Mm-hmm. So that scene needs to be there.
It needs to be there. It's just
Uh-huh.
maybe quite long, and
It's a bit
and the
long.
fact that he says, "Oh, those buzzsaws were here for you." Why do you send what? Will we
buzzsaw?
send a hitman? Nah, let's send 2 helicopters with like saw blades swinging with the bottom of them. No,
It's James Bond.
I get it's a James Bond movie, but it's just, I don't know. Again,
well, there's comic relief in there when he's in the caviar pool, or when he drives the Rolls Royce off the pier straight into the water.
Again, reverses it, doesn't turn it. No turning the. I did actually find it funny. In fact, every scene with Robbie Coltrane was funny.
Yeah,
it was all like relief. It was all really good. I found it strangely quite funny when he walks in and Christmas Jones is there. And he goes, what is that? Oh, I'll have to tell security and congratulate them. Drink. And then he turns and he's like, can't you just say hello like a normal person? It is quite funny.
Yeah, he's good.
I think it's good. He's probably my favourite bit of the movie. He's a favourite character.
That's just your Scottish bias. That's your SNP showing.
SNP? Where would Hamza think? Where is Hamza now?
Yeah,
anyway, no more hate crimes.
I think that he's good. His death's good. He is. You're right. He's one of the best, like, James Bond allies. Returning allies. His death seems cool.
It's even funny just before he dies. Actually, I'm looking for a submarine. It's big and black, and the driver's a really good friend. The driver is a really good friend of mine. Yeah, there's loads of bits like that, but it's
cool.
pretty good.
He has the gun and the cane.
Yeah,
which I'm pretty sure is from Casino Royale, the original Casino Royale.
I've never seen it. Yeah, anyway, Robbie Coltrane's the best bit of this movie. By far. Yeah. Of everything.
Yeah, he is good.
Anyway, on to Electra King's acting.
I think Electra King's acting's great. She's a famous French actress.
She was good.
Sophie Marceau.
Just going to go through the cast now. Denise Richards acting.
Everybody hates that, but I didn't see anything that was wrong with it.
Nah, it's just...
It is what it is. There's always like...
Maybe it's just the accent. The accent is just having this very Californian accent, quite jarring when everyone's
Russian
talking a European accent of some description. James, you just killed James Bond.
Yeah, I get
it's
that.
Like... A lot of times I was like...
I don't have any problems with it. It's like a trope for the last 30 years that there's like a sexy... girl wearing nothing with a weird name running about with some science job that doesn't match their physical appearance.
It's like they're trying to deactivate the thing. This is a bomb that's been essentially gaffer taped onto something. And he goes, the screws are script. And he goes, someone's tampered with this bomb. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a stone. It's gaffer taped onto this thing. Of course, someone's tampered with it. You know that. Someone's tampered with it. Shut up.
Back to the lab.
Do you want the official listing of Dr. Christmas Jones?
Official listing?
Like the official description of her and her job.
Right.
Okay.
So she's a doctor of nuclear physics. She can speak Russian and claims to have defused hundreds of nuclear devices.
Okay. Why would she need to do that?
Hundreds
of nuclear devices have been defused by Dr. Christmas.
Why was her name Christmas Jones? apart from the joke at the end.
Ask Neil and Purvis. Neil and Purvis LLC.
Because it's not an innuendo.
Yeah.
Without the joke.
The joke at the end is the worst line of any James Bond movie. It's this shoehorns. It's
a shoehorn.
It's
so he says, "I was wrong about you," and she says, "What do you mean?" And then he says,
I can't remember what he says exactly.
He says, well, I thought Christmas only comes once a year.
Yeah. So we guy didn't get that. And I watched it again. I was like, oh my god. I was like, that was just shit. That entire character was written for that one joke. They probably thought of the joke before the character's name.
But there was 2 Christmas jokes, remember? That's I always wanted Christmas in Turkey, which also doesn't make too much sense.
What movie doesn't make sense, Jack? Just accept it doesn't make any sense.
It's such a good film.
Let's do question 2 before we go into the moments and stuff. This one is actually... I said this was an easy one, but it is quite hard because I didn't know the answer to this prior to watching it a second time. What is Renard's real name?
Oh, okay.
Oh, do you know that?
No. I didn't.
I had to put it back.
failed.
Oh, I'm going to write that one down for Jack. Yeah, Renard is not his real name. His real name is Robbie Carlyle. Yeah, his real name is mentioned.
I thought you were going to say it.
When that giant holographic head is sitting, and they know
the debriefing scene.
They know a lot of information about this bullet, saying, "Oh, it's moving slowly through there." How do you know that?
They just
The medulla. They actually say the medulla oblongata.
That's how I know that word, that phrase is from this film.
No.
Have
Have you ever seen Waterboy?
No, I don't know what that
Ben,
is.
have you ever seen Waterboy with Adam Sandler? Anyone who's seen Waterboy knows that the medulla oblongata is the medulla oblongata, and it's the Colonel Sanders lecturer. This means nothing to you,
It
doesn't it?
It's going right over my head here.
Yeah, that's. I think in most movies and TV shows, that's the most technical sounding part of the brain.
Yeah.
So they just use it all the time. It's the medulla oblongata.
It has a big long name.
The hypothalamus.
Not hard.
It's the only two parts of the brain I know. Anyway, we spoke at the start about Bond moments and how all the Bond moments are concentrated into the start of the movie, really. But
Are they?
there is a few that. I mean, obviously, the office balcony, as I mentioned already, the dive function of the boat. Another moment which I thought was quite good, but again, kind of corny, is when they're escaping the bunker. And now that I think about it, I say it quite corny, unbelievably corny. She goes, "So you're a British spy, do you have a name?"
Oh,
and then
come
for some reason, Pierce Brosnan turns into an American, goes, "The name's Bond," and then shoots the thing, and then that goes up, the music plays, he goes, "James Bond," and then he keeps going. I'm like, fucking...
No, that's cool. That's a cool moment.
Is it cool?
They have the music.
Does this say more about you than me?
Yeah.
It's a lift, you could press the button. No, I'm going to shoot it.
Yeah.
It could just blow them up.
Has to highly pressurise his escape.
Yeah, that whole...
No, that's a good scene. I can't let you have that one.
Can't let me... I don't want it. I thought I made my point clear. I don't want that.
The the bomb in the pipe.
Uh-huh.
I think that's kind of a scene.
You think that's a moment?
Yeah, the whole diffusing it and then realising that it's not what they thought it was and just let it explode.
Okay.
The sort of deceit.
I wondered as well, like, is that thing not travelling at 8 mile an hour? And they go,
just like, oh.
I just jump off. Like, you would be. No, you would have
pieces.
many carpet burns from that. I don't know what the inside of the pipe is made of, but it's definitely no crash mat material.
No, it's fine if you just land on Dr. Jones.
just roll and you'll be fine.
Stop, drop and roll.
So is there any other moments that you thought were Bond moments in this movie?
A Bond moment as in something that sticks with you after the film. Yes, there is, but it's not like an action scene. What sticks with me is the Q scene, the Desmond Llewellyn scene.
Yeah, that's his goodbye.
His farewell. I would class that as a moment because it's the sort of handing over of the torch and it's a farewell to a long-standing
to this
character.
bumbling buffoon. Just to John Cleese.
Yeah.
So there's no other actual Bond. I mean, there's bits that are good, like the dive into the water from the tower. When he's getting to the submarine.
Where he takes off his jacket.
Yeah,
and just jumps
I
in.
like that. I don't think it was like, oh, that's a...
There's not really a Bond moment, you're right. Maybe when he fires himself from the submarine and then tries to go into the other end of the submarine, that there's the shot of him like swimming, I guess, but there's nothing exciting.
Yeah, and then he kind of get in, like, you are dead. there's no way you are dead. But yeah, that's my point. There's just not... It's almost like everything's right at the start, or maybe even just after that, all these like really good bits, and then it's just kind of drip fed into nothing. There's not any memorable bits coming through. But yeah, that's what
I don't know if there really needed to be. The plot itself is good enough that you don't need some bombastic. The acting is good enough. The scenes between the characters are good enough. But you don't need some weird gadget to keep you interested. The suspense is there. The suspense. There's a bomb about to go off.
It's not a bomb though, it's meltdown.
And there's a M has been kidnapped and she needs to get saved.
But she's conveniently where the bomb is, so...
Yeah, well, where else is she going to be? She needs to be exploded, dude.
She needs to be exploded. Yeah, I don't know. I just... I think the fact that we're struggling to think of moment bits is quite telling.
No, it's not.
No. Okay, well, let's go on to the branding then, of which there was more, but not... It wasn't that standoutish. Obviously, BMW.
BMW's final film, thankfully.
Yes.
There was a scene with the Aston Martin that was cut from this.
Was this by chance at the funeral scene at the start?
Yes. Did you see that? There's a deleted scene of him driving into the funeral.
It's the only scene I can think of in the movie where a car...
He drives to the funeral in the Aston.
Okay.
And that's it.
And they took it out because they went, you're not giving us any money.
There was also a deleted scene in the pre-title sequence. The person that shoots everybody in the Swiss bank and doesn't kill James Bond is supposed to be Renard. Is shown to be Renard, like, across the street.
Oh, right.
And that's like an introduction to his character, but they thought that it wasn't sinister enough.
It's maybe too...
It was just like a throwaway, he's the guy behind the gun.
He just looks like a guy, not... You're not going to remember him. You're just going, there's that guy again. Or you know who the actor is, and you're going, where's that random henchman number 3 was Bobby Carlyle.
Yeah, because his introduction with the rocks are probably more... Yeah.
He does explain bombastic as well that that's why I let you live at the bank. And I don't think it was actually him. I thought it was
in the deleted scenes,
like a lackey. Probably best
because I always thought it was Cigar Girl, but it obviously couldn't be because she was just in the room.
I thought that when I was younger, and then when I watched it again, I went, "No, she was down the stairs. How did she get up there?" And
purely because in the next scene she has the gun with the laser on it. The laser,
horrible aim. With all weapons,
yes,
and tries everything. So the other thing I found in terms of branding is like a weird one is Caterpillar, the construction company, because you have a feature from what's that comedian's name? Is it yeah,
he's in it for one.
He's in it one bit with a construction hit with Cat. Again, a scene that means nothing. Where he's meeting Electra King. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to go and speak to the villagers and calm them down with the pit. What's this for? Why? Then he's in it.
It's to show that she's a good person. It's to throw you off the scent again. You're right, he is in that for one line, but this was the year that The Mummy came out, so maybe this was just...
Maybe he was just busy, maybe he was just in the area.
Yeah.
It's like, so you don't help me, you're not hard. Okay.
I've got my own hard.
Bollinger was quite prominent in this movie. There was the bit where Electra's on the bed and reaches for the bottle when Renard's there, and the camera like zooms in and Bollinger. And right, okay, you clearly put some money forward here. And Omega again.
Yeah.
Watches that watch that has incredible strength.
Yes.
The repel one doesn't let you swing it. Actually, it will pull you out of things. I thought,
like Batman.
We're no going back. We're no going back to it. I don't think of any other branding I could see.
That's all I
think that was everything. But it does kind of touch on the gadget side with obviously the watch with the repel. The avalanche jacket we spoke of, which was just in time.
Just in time. The glasses at the start that have the switch to blow up the gun.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Them, and then obviously the X-ray specs.
The X-ray specs are the biggest gadget of this movie
lens.
By far.
Yeah, I thought he looked great in those. I kind of want them. Blue tinted.
You want to go with blue tinted glasses indoors?
Like John Lennon.
Okay, that's your reference.
Well, who else has coloured lenses?
Bono, Elton John, Edgar Davids.
Okay.
Look like Edgar Davids. Edgar Davids must be retired.
Oh,
He must have retired about 10 years ago. I don't know what he became Bono. I've actually forgot about the credit card skeleton key as well. I thought,
was that this film? I thought that was the last film.
Yes, how he breaks into the porta cabin. You know that door that you could probably just kick down and he does a wee. But yeah, I think the sunglasses were a really good touch. I thought they were subtle. I didn't understand why no one questions going, why is he
staring at me in the casino?
Why did she just keep looking around? I also thought from a filmmaking bit that was just really good. I don't know what they did. It must be just visual effects. It must be visual effects, because I also noticed that I think the scenes where he is looking at people and it's from his perspective, the camera isn't moving around a lot. I'm assuming just to make it easier. And no one's really walking about the place. They are just standing as still as possible. But I really liked it. I thought it was subtle. It didn't look off or dated or anything like that.
It doesn't look dated. What kind of looks dated, if you look for it, is the inside of the pipe when they're firing down. That was obviously a back projection or something. See, green screen.
I didn't really notice that. I was put off with Denise Richards' accent.
Disgusted, repelled.
Yes.
The Q-boat is the biggest gadget for me.
Oh, I suppose, yeah. I actually, I'm going to say I forgot about it, but no, that is the iconic thing. And then the sunglasses come down. I also, he goes, oh, my fishing boat. Mate, where are you fishing?
What are you going to do?
Bloody Panama Canal. Like, where are you fishing? So yeah, there wasn't as I don't know, there wasn't such an aggressive use of gadgets as there was in Let Tomorrow Never Dies and GoldenEye.
No,
it was
maybe
a
sign of things to come.
The Invisible War.
No, after that.
Alright, nothing?
Yeah, nothing.
Okay. There wasn't that many, but
the introduction of R is, I like it. I think John Cleese had to play a character that was completely different from Q, like a personality-wise, had to be very different. But he plays it in that one style he plays everything in.
John Cleese.
Which is like his Fawlty Towers buffoon kind of idea.
He is very like Basil Fawlty. Everything he says has a kind of undertone of like sarcasm.
Yeah, when he hits his jacket caught in the door and he faces the wrong way for like practical comedy, that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's good. And we'll look into it next episode, but I can't remember quite how he plays that. But he plays this good here. And that Q scene's probably the best scene because it's just so heart-wrenching.
I just actually realised BMW Z3 2-seater car.
Yep.
I just realised that he says there's 6 beverage. Why is there 6 beverage cup holders?
Is that what he says?
He does say 6 beverage cup holders. All in all, rather stocked.
And then Q says fully loaded would be the term.
Yes, and he goes, I think. And he goes, you're not here to think, you're here to do as I tell you. Oh my God, I'm back to 10-year-old Derek. But yeah, 6. That's another gadget.
There's
6 beverage cup holders.
And there's only 2 seats, you're right.
Yes, doesn't make any sense.
No,
it's a writing flaw. That's Neil and Purvis.
Neil and Purvis is your problem.
Anywho, why don't we do question 3? This is the hard question.
I thought that last one was pretty hard.
Just because you don't know it doesn't mean it's hard, Jack.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's actually quite hard. I only know it because I thought, that'll be a good question.
Okay.
To be honest, I do remember it. So, question 3, the hard one, is we spoke about the pipeline.
Yeah.
The King pipeline that the bomb is now went into, and James Bond and Dr. Christmas Jones have to get into the pipe to defuse the bomb.
Yep.
What number of rig station do they enter the pipe at?
Okay.
Impossible question. No, it's not possible. It says on the screen.
Do they say it, or is it just on the screen?
They say... They tell the screen, or they tell the audience which rig station the bomb is at,
Right.
So when it comes up and they say, oh, what is this? Oh, it's at Rig Station, and you see it on the thing. And then when they enter, they say, okay, there's a way to get in at Rig Station.
Okay.
I don't think they say the number, but you see it on the screen.
Okay.
So yeah, if you've paid attention to that completely useless piece of information, then maybe you'll get the answer correct. And what do you win? Nothing.
A shout out. No, let's not even do that.
A shout out?
Nah.
Who are you going to shout out to?
The winner.
Oh, I thought you were going to shout out to just somebody. Jen Dimash.
No.
I couldn't think of someone.
No, stop.
Just going to give a shout out to just some randomer. But yeah, I don't.
What did you think of the song? Because you glossed over that. The title.
I thought the song was garbage. No, it was,
Right.
I thought the song was okay. I think it's.
Is it too 90s?
It's
Like
very,
dated?
it's very 90s. I don't know. For some reason, it like again reeks of like early Millennium songs, but David Arnold is very heavily involved in everything, and it's got all the nice themes and that. I'd say of all the Pierce movies, this is probably one of the best scores that go with everything.
Yeah, the score's good.
You're going to say I was going to say it's the best song.
It's not the best song.
It's not the best song by far, no.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very well balanced score and everything worked really well. What was actually really nice now that I think about it is there's a weird throwback that I'm assuming this was Big Davy Boy that did this when she says there's no point in living if you can't feel alive. There's a piano melody that plays over
right.
it. This weird what's the term when something sounds
Like a
off?
motif kind of thing, but I don't know what it is.
No, is it like what's the chords that sound odd? I want to say diminished, but it's not diminished. Diminished, is that the word?
Diminished is the word.
Yeah, okay.
You did do music for a while.
I never studied it. I don't know the words. There's a weird like, diminished piano, and then when Renard says there's no point in living, you can't feel alive, they play the same notes again, but just really quickly, and he goes, and then Pierce does his noise.
That's when he realises.
He's like, I know what's going on here, and it was something I only noticed. Kind of that was clearly David. David had an influence in that there.
Yeah, and that line's also in the lyrics of the song like 3 times.
Is it? I think a lot of this movie's put in. The song is it sounds obvious the song is written for this movie, given the fact that it's his title and it's in the film. But even the lyrics are right. Let's put as much Bond references as we can in here.
There's quite a lot of Electra King in the lyrics. Like you know that's what they're talking about.
Yes, they're giving it away. Don't trust her.
Yeah. Well, like I said previously, the title scenes for definitely Skyfall and Spectre just play the plot of the film.
I don't think there's people covered in oil.
There's people covered in oil just to show that
there's oil in this movie. There's oil in Dempdale Hills. No, don't start. Johnny Davis. No, let's not bring that back.
Oh, speaking of quips.
Oh no.
What are your quips? I don't
have any.
Christmas comes once a year. Christmas in Turkey. Pay the piper.
Right.
And then pipe down as the...
Can I come back?
Come back to that. That was good. When he kills Electra, well, she says, you wouldn't kill me, you'd miss me. And he kills her and then says, I never miss. That was quite cold. Quite cool.
Okay.
I had that one. And then right at the start, he's like, do you want to check my numbers? And he says, I'm sure your figures are perfectly rounded.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
I don't have any written. I'm not saying there wasn't any. There was none that was like, oh, that's...
There's definitely one more that I've forgotten.
I mean, there's put your money where your mouth is, where he's talking to Goldie. There's a lot, but there was none that I thought were, oh, that's quite witty.
This film brought in more than the last 2 films.
Yeah, but I think they were like... I'd rather have more 10 out of 10 lines. Or no, I'd rather have less or fewer 10 out of 10 lines than just loads of like 4 out of 10.
And most of these
Christmas Carol's ones that you're just ruined the lines for me. It's like, oh, come on, that's just...
Yeah, that was a bit...
That's lazy.
Nonsense.
But yeah, I thought there was... I don't know. I thought the lines were a wee bit off. Writing was off, movies off. You need to talk about the translations.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes.
Let's do this seg.
For anyone what episode was it? Was it licensed? It was Licensed to Kill, because you were ready to hit me with that mic at the end where we had the technical issue.
Yeah,
in the midst of your chat.
The audio
and
disappeared.
What Jack had found a few months ago was the translations of famous James Bond movies in different countries.
Yeah, because this came about because back in the old days when you had the James Bond magazines and they came with the cars, on the back of the sort of box they were in would have the film and then all of its translations. And at school once, in French, you were asked to, like, what did you do at the weekend? And I said, what I'll do is I'll write down the actual French. I watched this film, blah, blah, blah. And the actual French translation, and the teacher then returned it and said, are you sure this is what this means? Because that's not what it means in English. So that kind of always been in my head.
Please tell me you know the example of what you're talking about.
No, I've forgotten what it was. But there's quite a few, because especially in German they have some weird ones. Instead of Dr. No, it's like 007 Hunt's Dr. No. It's more informative.
This is you were talking about the whole James May of, like, Mr. Slowly.
Yeah, in Italian they have a different just a weird way of saying it. Like, For Your Eyes Only is completely different. It's just on a deadly mission with 007.
What's wrong with For Your Eyes? Do they not have those words?
Yeah, I don't know. That seems to be like a words that you could have in every language.
Maybe it's like the context. It's just not a phrase that would make sense.
In German, though, For Living Daylights was quite a good one that was called A Breath of Death. That's pretty cool.
That sounds like a horror movie.
I guess.
What else was there?
In Russian, the Russians got the funniest one. Die Another Day in Russian is die, but not today.
Like a comma?
Yes. And Spanish is quite good. The Living Daylights, for some reason, has nothing to do with that phrase. The Living Daylights, in Spanish, the film is called His Name is Danger. Which has nothing to do with anything.
That's mis-selling.
Nothing to do with the whole plot.
The name is Bond, James Bond. Hey, you said your name is Danger.
Wait a minute. The lies. Octopussy. There's so many that could go wrong with a translation of Octopussy.
What's the name in Japan?
Any hentai movie. They're all called Octopussy over there. In Spanish, Octopussy was called 007 versus the Deadly Girls. It sounds like an adult B movie.
It doesn't fight any females in that movie.
Actually, females are on his side, the Deadly Circus.
Yeah,
females.
Yeah. Alright.
So they've obviously got that wrong.
I don't think it works saying, like, if you put V in the title, to me that's just like Alien versus Predator,
which was a good film.
Kong v Godzilla, which I think there's been about 40 in the last few years. I lose track of how many there are. But
007 versus the Deadly Girls, though. There's potential there.
Is there? That's not a movie I was going to see.
No. It sounds like a fan-made film, doesn't it?
Like The World's Not Enough.
Hey. Hey. This is a good film.
Do you have any more?
What is that?
What?
On this poster?
That's Denise Richards.
Is that a shadow of a flame? Because flames don't have shadows that are orange.
What do you mean?
They are
a shadow
They're
of a
on
flame?
her top. What is that?
What do you mean? Is that a shadow? It's the light from a flame, is it not?
No, the light's not come from that source.
I think what you're seeing here is this image has been photoshopped. They're not really standing on Europe. This has been edited. So what you're seeing is people have put highlights in there.
Like, okay, so obviously there, that's kind of, she's been taken out there, and then that colouring's just been put up here. Is that Gollum?
Well, there is actually a new Gollum movie.
Yeah, what's that all about?
What do you mean, what's it all about? It's telling the story of...
But is it based in Tolkien lore? Or is it just all made up?
No. Well, the whole thing's made up. It's not real.
What? We had this debate, the whole debate in work.
This isn't a debate. It didn't happen.
But for some reason it was a debate in the office where one of the guys was like, I don't quite like fantasy stuff, like Lord of the Rings, and it's like, yeah, well, obviously it's not real. And then one of the guys was like, well, it was kind of real, and I was like, no, let's stop. It's as in it's based in Earth, and I was like, no, that's not what real means.
I'm sorry. Is this what I pay my tax for? This isn't even debatable. This is the author, God rest his soul, never claimed that this was historically accurate.
And
wait, so he thinks something's real if it's based on being in Earth?
No, well, his argument was there's humans in it,
right?
And it's based in Earth. So
is this an adult man? Is this a grown up?
He's not saying that it was real as in it happened.
Right.
The other guy was saying, I don't like fantasy films that are full of aliens and stuff. And he was like, well, you'll like Lord of the Rings because there's men in it and it's in Earth, the realm of Earth.
By both those counts, Star Wars and Lord of the Rings are fantasy, and I would disagree. I would say Star Wars was sci-fi.
But it's also fantasy.
No. If someone said fantasy, RPG to me, that would be like Skyrim.
Fantasy to me is like dragons and stuff.
Yes, and funnily enough, even in fantasy, sometimes it is based in Earth and there is men in it. That doesn't mean it's... I mean, Star Wars did have Earth.
No.
Just had places that looked like Earth.
Yeah.
And give it another name.
It had humans in it.
But that is true. That just happened a really, really long time ago. In a face far, far away.
There you go. It's historically accurate.
Yeah, that's true. That's what.
Yeah. Well,
I am claiming back my tax.
The reason that George Lucas did that is because he said that if anybody ever had any complaints, he could just say, well, it was a galaxy far, far away and a long, long time ago. So
what would they complain about?
It was like just if they tried to pick any plot holes or any
right
references to anything maybe current affairs, he would just go, it's a galaxy far, far away.
Isn't Star Wars like full of plot holes though?
Oh, of course, every movie is.
Yeah.
Except this
film. I mean, it is decades apart. Like, decades apart, different actors.
Different universes.
How did we go into this?
I can't quite remember. Anyway, that's not Gollum, it's Goldie.
That was it. You started talking about something. Right. This isn't real. This didn't happen.
I'm going to say...
Anyway.
You are wrong.
No.
So, there's a sort of always a theme that the third film of an actor is their best James Bond film.
Well,
do you agree or not?
Strongly disagree.
Okay, because Goldfinger is John's third film and it's always quoted as his best.
Yep.
Roger Moore's Spy Who Loved Me, and that's always quoted as his best.
What about his Secret Service? It was Timothy Dalton's.
Timothy Dalton didn't get his chance. So, going in that theme, does that make this film, The World Is Not Enough, Pierce Brosnan's best?
No. Because it's not like a law of nature.
But
how many actors? There's 6 actors.
Yeah.
4 of them have had more than 3 movies, or 3 or more.
Yes.
Right, so that's...
So 2 out of the 3 so far have had this theory come true.
No, but that's not... That's not come true. That's like opinion.
Opinions that have like
But that
widely.
That's like gravity's not an opinion. It's not.
Wait a minute. But in Daniel Craig, his third film's always slated to be his.
Would you say The Spy Who Loved Me was Roger Moore's best movie?
No, but in public opinion, I think it's always deemed his best.
The public don't know what they want, though. The public don't know anything.
I'm just trying to get round. I'm just trying to segue into this section here.
All right, are you just waffling until that? All right, okay, right. Or you're just waffling something until I put this in. Okay, right. So I'm gonna put The World's Not Enough where I think The World's Not Enough should be. Jesus Christ, have you glued this together? Oh my god, it's like.
Right, so whilst you're doing that, I'm going to say that I really enjoyed this film. And I never used to really enjoy this film, but after watching it again in preparation for this, it's gone many places up in my own rankings.
I generally don't think there's anything wrong with the movie. I think it has good action sequences and it has good moments. I kind of lost interest in it. Would I go back and watch it again for enjoyment? Probably not. I think that's just where
yeah, but you'd watch this opening scene and then turn it off.
I could do that on YouTube though.
The opening scene is
the opening scene is the only bit you need to see. It's good, but I think the rest of it was just I didn't.
I think Pierce Brosnan's at his peak here.
His peak?
Yeah.
A peak acting, then yeah. Okay,
his peak as James Bond. He looks the part. He doesn't look too old, although he is like mid-40s in this. He's got the acting of James Bond down to a T.
Yes,
I think he's peak.
Do you think he could have? He should have given up here. Given up?
No, I think he should have got another film.
Well, he did.
Another film after that.
Oh, so you don't think he should have stopped it down another day?
He shouldn't have been released.
Yeah, I thought that was, okay, right. Well, there's my ranking where it is.
Right, okay.
I think that is indicative of really what I've spoken about for the last hour.
Yeah.
Just so people who are not viewing this know, in fact, even if you are viewing it, Jack's not showing you. The World's Not Enough, I have put just above midway in the table.
Yeah.
I've put above The Man with the Golden Gun, but below The Spy Who Loved Me.
Below The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah, I think that's just. We both agree that the opening to the movie is the best bit, and I don't think that's a good sign where the best bit of the movie is the start.
That's true, but I think the film doesn't.
See if you put this at the top.
I think this film doesn't really go. It doesn't take a dramatic fall off the cliff after that film.
No, it's not a disaster. It's
exactly.
It's a slow burn, but not a very memorable one.
No, for me, it's great.
See if you've put this at the top.
I think this is a great film.
See if you've put this at the top. I'm going to put this board over your head.
I really like this film. I think
you're frightening me.
The film starts strong and a good 10 out of 10, and it stays at an 8, 9, 10 all the way through.
It's nowhere near 8 or 9 all the way through. Show what you've done. What have you done in this? What have you done in this?
I think this is excellent.
Shut up your ass! No, there is absolutely no way.
It's a lot better than the previous film.
You're saying it's a lot better than Tomorrow, but you're saying this is better than GoldenEye?
If you'd asked me a month ago, I would have said no, but rewatching it, yes.
So you
I think Pierce Brosnan alone carries this with the opening scene. I'm
going to go through a couple of questions now.
Okay.
You think, and answer honestly here, remember you're under oath, The World Is Not Enough is better than Goldfinger. The World Is Not Enough, 1999, with Denise Richards.
With Denise Richards.
Is better than Goldfinger. Goldfinger, 1964. Yes, right. So you think
in
that's
my
better?
Present opinion.
No. You think that's better than Goldfinger? You think it's better than the 11 Daylights?
It's better than the 11 Daylights.
I'm going to go back. You think it's better than Goldfinger?
That's not what we're being asked here.
Yeah, you think The World Is Not Enough is better than Goldfinger?
Wait, so you think that Tomorrow Never Dies is better than Goldfinger?
Tomorrow Never Dies has more Bond-ish moments than Goldfinger.
No.
Yes.
No. This is
going to cause a lot of hate, and I don't want to be part of it. I want the record to stay.
You destroyed our our reputation when you put Tomorrow Never Dies at the top.
The World's Not Enough has less gadgets than Tomorrow Never Dies. Has less quips,
but it has the boat chase.
One
15 minutes.
The boat chase isn't 15 minutes. The whole opening sequence is about 15 minutes, but
okay.
Let's call it
8
minutes. So
it's got the car that saws in half. It's got the end.
Actually, so there's a boat chase for 8 minutes. Is that was good? Yes, we both agree on that. The car, which the only feature of the car was it drove forward itself 8 feet. James Bond got in it, reversed the car another 30 feet, fired a rocket, and then the car was immediately cut in half.
Yes,
that's the end of the moment. Is it a Bond moment? Is crashing a car?
It gets cut in half by a giant buzzsaw in the middle of a pier.
How is that a Bond moment? How did
it's exciting.
Is it?
What did your film have that was more exciting than that?
My film. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yes, it had the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean.
What's that? Keith Richards. The Daft in Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, it had an opening sequence where he had to take out a full arms bazaar and steal a fighter
with
jet.
Terrible CGI.
And it wasn't terrible CGI.
This is practically done.
Shut up! It was that practically done. They went in a pipeline for 80 miles an hour.
I'm talking about the boat chase still.
No.
This film is leagues above your film.
No.
And from your placement of that film, this film needs to reflect that. It's at the top.
I am going to feed you to the other Bond fans. No Bond fan on the planet thinks that The World's Not Enough is the best movie by far.
Pierce Brosnan is peak James Bond, and it's a James Bond film. There you go.
Tell the people where you've put this. This is the last episode of the podcast. We're not going on to another day.
So Pierce Brosnan has
I'll hold it up for the camera.
Has put James Bond into the new millennium with a bang, I guess. I don't know how to word that, but the
millennium hasn't started.
Stop it. Right, so in last place out of the 19 so far, we have Dr. No, Thunderball, Moonraker, You Only Live Twice, For Your Eyes Only, View to a Kill, Diamonds Are Forever, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Live and Let Die, License to Kill, Man with the Golden Gun, Spy Who Loved Me, Octopussy, From Russia with Love, and top 5 we have The Living Daylights, Goldfinger. In third place we have GoldenEye, and bizarrely in second we have Tomorrow Never Dies, but deservedly at the top we have The World Is Not Enough.
You've been pranked. Next week I'm just going to put Die Another Day at the top just to annoy you. Oh wait, no, I get to move it next week.
Next week we get to move it.
Yes, so
we should also probably address that there's most definitely some 90s bias here.
Yes, because we were born there. Jack was 3 and understands everything.
Like all the 90s films are in our top 3, which is, we should probably address that by moving your film out of the top 5.
I think The World Is Not Enough should go in the bin with Diamonds Are Forever. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this. Next week we will be back with the final Pierce movie, the one that deserves to be, like, deservedly needs to be at the bottom.
Whoa, you can't say that. You haven't rewatched it.
At the top.
Yeah, you may have changed your opinion like I have on this film.
the board will be set alight in the next episode. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we hope that you've enjoyed this and look forward to sharing it. Share it with all your friends and family, and like the episode, and follow us on social media, and we will see you next time.
Bye.